Hello everyone, welcome to Storytime. The name of the book that I'm going to read today is called The Dog Who Found Christmas. It's by Linda Jennings. It's a very heartfelt book. I hope you enjoy it just as much as I do. For the season of kindness and hospitality, here is a tender story of a little dog's search for a new home. Poor Buster, homeless and hungry, wanders from house to house seeking comfort. But at every door he is rebuffed. First by a snarling collie, and then by a hissing cat. Buster is ready to give up hope when he hears the songs of carolers. Following their music in the glow of holiday lights, he finds someone who wants a dog just as much as he wants a home. The tale of this sweet-faced pup, illustrated in rich seasonal colors, embraces the very spirit of Christmas. So here we go. The Dog Who Found Christmas. When Buster was a little puppy, he had to leave his mother and go to a new home. At first, his new family petted him and called him cute. There he goes when he was born with his mom. And that's him right there. But as Buster grew from a puppy into a little dog, things began to go wrong. He tried his best to please, but his owners yelled at him when he jumped on them or chewed things. "Bad dog," they shouted. "You're more trouble than you're worth." So there he is, his owner yelling at him. One cold winter's day, his family took Buster to a part of town where he had never been before. They pushed him out of the car and left him on the edge of a wide, busy road. They didn't want Buster anymore. The cars raced by all day, but nobody noticed poor Buster. It grew dark, and the car headlights shone like huge, fierce eyes. Buster was very frightened. He wondered why his family didn't come back for him. He wanted to go home, but he didn't know where home was. Without thinking, Buster rushed out into the road. Screech! 2 cars swerved to avoid him. The drivers leaned out of their windows and yelled at the little dog. So there he is, almost getting hit by a car. Buster ran into a yard and lay trembling under a bush. He waited and waited. When his heart stopped thumping so loudly, he came out. It was very cold and he was hungry. There he is, cold, in the bush there, and he's cold and he's hungry. He crept up to the front door of a house and scratched at it. The door opened and a woman looked down at Buster. But before she could say anything, a huge snarling dog appeared from behind her and thrust its head into Buster's face. "Go away before I bite you," he growled. "This is my home." So there goes the other dog, snarling at him, telling him to leave because that's his home. Suddenly, the big dog broke free and chased Buster down the path, snapping at his short, stumpy tail. Buster just managed to squeeze through a hole in the hedge before the big dog could nip him again. So there is the big dog chasing Buster away from his house. Buster sat on the frosty pavement, licking his sore tail. He wondered where he should go. He trotted on and hesitated at another open gate. There were lights sparkling on a tree in the window. The house looked very cheerful and welcoming. Buster started to walk up the driveway. but he didn't get far. "Scram, you mutt!" Buster looked up. Sitting on the wall above him was a huge, large tabby cat. "My territory," he hissed. The cat showed his claws and his sharp white teeth. "Okay," sighed Buster, "I'll go." So now he encountered a cat, and the cat told him to leave. "Nobody wants me," thought Buster. It started to snow, and Buster's fur grew wetter and wetter. His little body shook with cold. Some people were walking down the road, singing. Buster thought if he could move along with them, they might notice him and take him home. Keeping his distance, he followed them. So there go the carolers, and he starts to follow them, hoping that they'll notice him. Maybe take him home. The singers turned into a driveway. Silent night, holy night. They sang as they stood in a circle outside a house. Buster crept among them, wondering if they would notice him, but worrying that if they did, they might tell him to go away too. The door to the house opened, and Buster could smell something delicious. His stomach grumbled with hunger. "One for each of you," said a voice, and a hand held out a plate of cookies. "Thank you, Mr. Merriweather," said the carolers. "And one for the little dog too," he added. So there go the carolers at a home, and there was a man right there, and he was giving everybody cookies, and he noticed the little dog and said one for the little dog too. "What little dog?" everyone asked. They looked down at their feet. Buster gazed up at them with pleading eyes. "Who is he? Where did he come from?" the carolers asked. "He must be a stray. He looks very hungry," said a little girl, and she gave Buster a cookie. He swallowed it in one gulp. Mr. Merriweather came out of his house and looked at Buster. "I'll take him," he said. "I think he needs a good home, and I've always wanted a dog for Christmas." He put out his hand to Buster, but the little dog drew back, afraid. "Come on, little fellow," said Mr. Merriweather gently. "We'll have a good Christmas together, you and I." And there he is, hugging Buster, holding him tightly in his arms. Buster stretched contentedly in front of the fire. His tummy was full, and he felt warm at last. "Welcome home, little dog," said Mr. Merriweather. "Woof," said Buster. And there he is in his new little bed, and there's his new owner, and both of them content. He finally found his home. And that concludes the end of our story. I hope you really enjoyed it. I did. Thank you very much, and